Thank you so much. This way, sir, for your goodwill message.
For the record, the black pendant, it's not here, but the white one is on my neck still, so I have it. To the great organizers of this day, and to our dear father, the late former President Musa Yar'Adua, I want to thank you so much for this award. I have a number of hats I wear outside of being a reverend father. I am a biomedical ethicist, and that's what I earned my academic terminal degree in. And when I see something about leadership and then the ethics of it gets me even more curious. And in ethics, there is a discussion on something called conscience. Psychologists would say it is the inner voice from your heart that dictates and directs for the right thing to be done. Theology says it is that which God is giving you via His own Spirit just to do the right thing because He's the absolute good and He desires that you do same. Be holy as your heavenly Father is holy. And there is an instilled voice right at birth in you that enables you to make that shift always for the good. Leadership is complex. I remain very grateful to the good people of Benue who saw that a reverend father should be their leader at this season. I remain very grateful to our dear nation who it's provided a platform for leadership to be sprung from. The complexity of leadership simply invites us not to stop talking about the good governance, to remain at it, and to ensure that we make a shift. Again, in psychology, we have position and perception. It is easy to move from perception if a position is taken that no, we cannot change. Nigeria is too difficult to change from where it is perceived to be. Then that position becomes difficult to enjoy a paradigm shift. But where we believe in ourselves, we accept the challenges that are, and then we keep making efforts and strides to moving from one point to the other very positively, remaining very hopeful and optimistic, then we know that a shift would become easier from the perception rather than the position that it's non-optic. this season, we are privileged to be talking about a hope agenda, something that spurs not only me on, but all of us should be spurred on to making that change. We must remain very hopeful, because so we are. So we are. Nigeria holds every great dream for all of us. The life we celebrate of our late former president even says it all. The future we hold today is a description of the greater things that are going to come in Nigeria, and to all of us Nigerians. While we celebrate this day, and to all who seek the good for our nation and for all the optics of our nation, this day is for all of us. Granted that the challenges are there, but as Martin Luther would say, we shall overcome. I'm very grateful for this recognition, and we would keep making our own strides that will push our state forward and our nation forward. Remember, we all have a role to play, and each person is to bring your spoon and make your scoop into this big drum of ours. And the scoop you make would increase the mileage, the positive mileage for growth. Once again, I appreciate this great gesture. It is an incentive for me to do more on good governance, on transparency, on responsibility, and on accountability. Thank you all. The very first year I came into governance, this was just about 1 year. On the very first month I came into governance, we had to take a closer look into the transparency of running, a good governance. And then it required trying to fish out the bad elements within the system, which included ghost workers, ghost schools, and they had been in the system for a very long time. The very first months, we were tempted that, there were lots of outcries and all that, that why were we doing something different? But remember, you cannot be doing the same thing all the time but be expecting a different result. So we needed a new dynamic, and then we employed the new dynamic to check. When we want something new, we want something that will work for everyone, we want something that people would hold dear to their heart, then you need to inspect that. By the virtue of the work we did on transparency and pinning down, the bad element within the system, we inspected what we shall expect. And that expectation is a good governance. Transparency is part of good governance. Getting everybody along is part of good governance. Ensuring ways and the programs that will make the system work formidably and sustainably is part of the good governance. And that is one element that is a takeaway, from his personality, from his administration, and also from the day. And I remain quite grateful to the organizers, of the day. I'm thankful for the award, the recognition for good governance, and we'll continue to keep to the ethics of good governance. And we all need to work for the good of Nigeria and, in fact, for the common good of the poor masses in our states.